A car bomb goes off outside CIA headquarters, and the person inside it was never supposed to be the target. The man who was supposed to die in that explosion is about to find out that the enemy hunting him used to be one of his own. This is the story of Tom Clancy's Jack Ryan. Ghost War. 2 British intelligence officers slip into an unfinished building in Dubai. It looks abandoned. It isn't. The building belongs to Starling, a network so dangerous it's been quietly setting off terror attacks across Europe. Inside, a hidden server holds everything. The names of every operative, every financial account, every attack carried out over the past year. The officers aren't here to admire the view, they're here to steal it all. A British intelligence handler named Nigel Cook radios the 2 officers and orders them out immediately. Liam Crown, the man running Starling, has found out they're inside, and he's already on his way with his men to kill them. The officers refuse to leave empty-handed. They push forward, determined to copy the files and send them straight to Nigel so British intelligence can finally take the network down. One officer starts the transfer. The other stays behind to hold the door and dies in the firefight that follows. Crown himself arrives moments later and kills the second officer too, canceling the file transfer before it can finish, but he's too late to stop all of it. 60% of the data already made it out, straight to Nigel. Crown now has one priority: find Nigel, and take back what was stolen before it reaches anyone else. Cut to New York. A convoy of black SUVs is trailing a man through the city streets. He ducks into a restaurant, slips out the back, and the cars are already waiting for him there too. Every exit is covered. 2 men pull him into a car, and he comes face to face with an old boss, James Greer, the CIA's deputy director. The man is Jack Ryan, retired, out of the game, and according to Greer, lying about being happy about it. Jack insists he's built a good life and has no interest in going back to intelligence work. Greer doesn't buy it. He points out that Jack lives alone, has no close friends left, and that the woman he loved has moved on with someone else. None of that sounds like a man who's content. Jack doesn't have a comeback. Greer promises this will be the last time he ever asks. One job, and Jack is free for good. Jack agrees. The mission sounds simple enough. Fly to Dubai, meet a British contact named Nigel Cook, and collect a flash drive containing intelligence on a group called Starling. When Jack asks what exactly Starling is, Greer shuts the question down completely, which tells Jack there's a lot more to this than he's being told. Greer assigns him a partner for the trip, Mike November, a CIA contractor Jack has worked with before. Jack doesn't understand why he needs backup for what's supposed to be a quick handoff. Mike explains it plainly. Greer trusts Jack, and he's worried there's a mole somewhere inside the agency. If Starling's people find out about the handoff, they'll try to kill whoever's carrying that drive. Jack isn't fully convinced. He still feels like Greer is hiding something, but he lets it go. And the next morning, the 2 of them board a flight to Dubai. On the plane, Jack presses Mike again. Out of everyone at the agency, why him? Mike repeats that Greer trusts him completely, and that trust is exactly what's needed right now. Jack still isn't satisfied, but he drops the subject as they land. In Dubai, Mike hands Jack a ticket to a yacht party where Nigel is supposed to be waiting, then peels off to keep watch outside. Jack heads in alone. Moments later, Nigel appears behind him with a knife pressed to his back, demanding to know exactly who he is and what he wants. Jack explains he's there on behalf of Greer, sent to collect the intelligence on Starling. Nigel is furious that Greer didn't come himself and refuses to hand the drive to a stranger. He doesn't trust anyone right now. He's convinced someone inside British or American intelligence is feeding information straight to Crown, and for all he knows, Jack could be that person. Before Jack can convince him otherwise, Mike spots someone watching them from a distance and gives chase, but the man leaps onto a nearby boat and disappears. Over comms, Mike warns Jack to grab Nigel and get out immediately. It's too late. A figure appears behind Nigel and kills him with a knife before vanishing into the crowd. A masked woman holds Jack at gunpoint moments later. She's not the killer. She's an MI6 officer named Emma Marlow, and she's been quietly watching this whole operation unfold. Jack spots Nigel's real killer trying to escape by boat and takes off after him. The fight spills onto the water, fists, a near collision with an oncoming vessel, a chokehold that nearly finishes Jack off before he turns it around. He's got the man pinned and is one question away from finding out who he's working for when a single gunshot ends it. Liam Crown, watching from a distance, kills his own man rather than let him talk. Mike pulls up in a boat to get everyone out before Emirati police arrive. Emma isn't about to let them leave without her. She forces her way aboard at gunpoint, and the three of them speed off together. Back at CIA headquarters, Greer can't reach Jack by phone and knows something has gone wrong. Then a package arrives by mail, files stamped with a single word: Starling. Before he can process it, Crown calls him directly. He tells Greer, almost casually, that he's killed Nigel to recover the intelligence Nigel was trying to leak. He warns that Jack will be next unless the flash drive is handed over. The call makes one thing painfully clear: Crown and Greer have history, and it's personal. Meanwhile, Emma has Jack and Mike zip-tied in an abandoned warehouse. Once she's confirmed who they are, she frees Jack and levels with him. She's spent weeks building a file on both him and Mike, and already knows they work for the CIA. Jack asks her directly if she killed Nigel's murderer. She says no. That was one of Crown's own men, silenced to protect the network. Then she lays out the truth: Greer wouldn't. After the September 11th attacks, the American and British governments quietly created a black ops unit that operated completely outside the rules. Codenamed Starling, Liam Crown ran that unit. Years later, when the program became too politically dangerous to keep alive, it was shut down and its people abandoned. Crown never accepted that decision. Instead, he built his own version of Starling and started orchestrating terror attacks across Europe, not out of ideology, but to force the governments who discarded him to bring the program back. Jack is stunned. He tells Emma he wants nothing to do with any of this. He's retired, and this isn't his fight. Emma isn't interested in his objections. She needs him to come to London for a joint meeting between MI6 and the CIA, and she's not giving him a choice. In London, they're met by Andrew Spear, MI6's deputy chief. Spear is immediately unhappy that Emma brought an American operative along, insisting they don't need outside help. Emma pushes back. Jack was present when Nigel died, which means Crown may believe he's the one holding the drive. That makes Jack a target, and keeping him close is the only way to use that as leverage against Crown. Once inside MI6 headquarters, Jack finally corners Greer. He accuses him of cowardice, of sending Jack into a meeting Greer knew could turn deadly, all while keeping the real danger hidden. Greer denies deliberately deceiving him. He explains that Nigel, deeply suspicious of a mole, would have trusted a fresh face with no history in this world over anyone already inside the agency, which is exactly why Jack was chosen. Jack isn't satisfied with the explanation, but he sets it aside. Whatever Greer's reasons, Jack is committed now to finishing the job and bringing Crown down. At the joint briefing, Spear reports that one of Crown's men has been captured, along with a phone containing photographs of various locations, including one of London's bridges, plus financial records showing a cash withdrawal from an ATM days earlier. Greer concludes Crown is planning to bomb the bridge, and pushes for police to clear it immediately and track down whoever made that withdrawal. Officers move fast, evacuate the bridge, and locate the suspect's apartment, packed with weapons and explosives. It looks like confirmation of the plan, but the materials found there are only meant to look like a bombing operation. It's a distraction, engineered to pull every available officer away from where the real threat is heading. Jack puts it together first. If Crown wanted every police unit scattered and focused elsewhere, it wasn't to protect a bridge. It was to clear the way for something else. Something aimed directly at Greer. At that exact moment, CIA Director Elizabeth Wright climbs into Greer's car to wait for him, unaware of what's rigged inside it. The car explodes. Wright is killed instantly. Greer, thrown to the ground by the blast, survives, but sees Crown watching from a distance, almost daring him to react. Greer chases him down in a car of his own. Crown's men open fire, but Greer manages to break off and cut through a different route, staying on Crown's tail until the pursuit slams into a crowded street. Crown crashes, abandons his car, and runs on foot. Greer follows, gun raised, ready to end it right there, until Crown's men arrive and pin him down in a shootout. Greer holds them off as long as he can, using his last rounds before taking cover behind his wrecked car. Crown's men close in for the kill. Jack and Mike arrive just in time, cutting them down and pulling Greer out alive. Regrouping at a British military facility, Jack raises the question no one wants to answer. Crown knew about their meeting location. He knew where to find Greer. He knew enough to plant a bomb in his car. Someone on the inside is feeding him everything. Before the conversation goes further, an officer interrupts. A courier is outside, claiming someone named Liam sent food for Greer. It's a message, and it's clear now that Crown has eyes on every move they make. Greer notices an address printed on the delivery receipt and realizes Crown wants a face-to-face meeting. He goes alone. Crown warns him not to draw his weapon. A sniper has Greer in his sights the entire time. Cornered, Greer asks what Crown actually wants. Crown says he wants to burn Europe down to prove a point, that the governments who used him and the rest of Starling, then discarded them the moment it became convenient, need to understand what happens when people like him are cut loose. Greer calls it exactly what it is, the excuse of a man dressing up his own crimes as justice. Crown changes the subject. He reveals he's been watching Jack and Emma from nearby and threatens to kill them both unless Jack hands over the intelligence Nigel obtained. Jack, listening the entire time through a hidden microphone in Greer's jacket, steps in and lies, claiming he left the drive back in Dubai. He asks for 3 days to retrieve it. Crown, satisfied for now, lets them go. Regrouping afterward, Jack explains he had no choice but to buy time with a lie. He's also noticed something. Crown reacts with real fear whenever a certain subject comes up, something only Nigel seemed to understand. That leads the team to Nigel's home and his computer, where they find a file pointing to a physical location, the very same unfinished building from the film's opening. It turns out Nigel never stored the stolen data on a laptop at all. He'd hidden it on a secure server, exactly where no one but him would think to look, which is precisely why Crown killed him before he could tell anyone else. Jack calls Greer with the full picture. The plan now is for Jack, Emma, and Mike to fly back to Dubai, get into that building, and pull everything off the server before Crown can destroy it. Greer will follow with reinforcements in case things go sideways. On the flight over, Emma checks in with Andrew Spear and tells him where they're headed. Spear warns her against trusting Jack and urges her not to go. She refuses to back down and ends the call. What she doesn't know is that Spear immediately dials Crown. He's the mole, feeding Crown just enough information to stay useful without exposing himself completely. Crown decides not to wait. He gathers his men and heads to Dubai himself to finish this before the server can be breached. In Dubai, the team is met by a local police officer, Jamal Ali, briefed in advance by MI6 to assist however he can. He doesn't know the building's exact location, but Emma places it in the north of the city and asks him to keep local police away for now. Any visible response could tip Crown off, and he's almost certainly rigged the area with explosives. Jamal agrees and drives them in. Inside, one of Crown's men gets a call confirming the team has arrived and starts gathering reinforcements throughout the building. As Jack, Emma, and Mike push upward floor by floor, they run into resistance almost immediately. Mike breaks off to take on a group upstairs while Jack fights his way through 3 more. In the chaos, a cracked section of flooring gives way beneath Emma, and she's seconds from falling before Jack grabs her hand and pulls her to safety. Mike finishes off the last attacker above them just as another gunman lines up a shot on Jack. Emma spots him first, grabs a weapon, and takes him down. They reach the top floor, where the server room is waiting. At the same time, Crown arrives with 2 of his men and splits up to hunt the team down. While searching for the server, Jack and Emma run into an armed guard blocking a locked corridor. Jack throws a fire extinguisher toward him, and Emma shoots it, filling the hallway with a cloud of white powder that blinds him just long enough for Jack to finish the fight. The corridor door is sealed shut, so Emma shoots the surrounding wall to weaken it, and together they break through. By now, Greer has landed in Dubai with military backup. He and reinforcements reach Emma and Jack just as they blast open the server room door. Inside, Jack contacts a CIA analyst back at Langley named Patrick Klinghoffer, and starts transmitting everything off the server, insurance in case anything happens to them before they make it out. While the files are transferring, Jack spots something in the data. A photo of Andrew Spear among images of Crown's known associates. The mole has a face now. Crown and his remaining men storm in, opening fire on Emma, while Jack stays glued to the terminal, refusing to move until the transfer finishes. Crown hurls a grenade at them. Emma spots it and shouts a warning just in time for them to dive clear of the blast. The moment they're back on their feet, one of Crown's men grabs Emma and starts choking her. That's when Patrick confirms the download is complete. Jack rushes to help Emma, but finds Mike has already taken matters into his own hands. Operating a construction crane outside, he smashes through a window and knocks the attacker straight off the ledge. With the threat cleared, Emma frees herself, grabs her weapon, and she and Jack turn their fire on Crown, who slips out of the line of fire without a scratch. One last gunman gets the drop on Emma from behind and shoots her in the back. Jack kills him instantly and rushes to her side, terrified of what he'll find, but she's alive. The vest under her jacket took the hit. Out of ammunition and out of options, Crown finally raises his hands. He asks Jack, almost mockingly, whether the files ever made it out. Jack stalls him with silence, buying just enough time for the sound of rotor blades outside. Greer's helicopter opens fire, wounding Crown badly. As Crown reaches for his sidearm, Jack doesn't hesitate. It ends there. Back in London, Britain's intelligence chief moves in to arrest Andrew Spear the moment Emma confirms he's the one who was feeding Crown information the entire time. Before Jack leaves, Emma thanks him for everything he did to save her life, and tells him plainly that he's too good at this to walk away again. The world still needs people like him. Greer finds Jack shortly after, congratulates him on pulling off an impossible mission, and tells him he's putting him forward as his own deputy. Jack, once determined to stay retired, agrees to stay in the fight. The two men board a flight home, Starling's rogue chapter finally closed, and the terror campaign that had gripped Europe brought to an end. At least for now. That's the full story of Tom Clancy's Jack Ryan, Ghost War. If you want more breakdowns like this one, hit subscribe so you know